Scars, scars and shame. When you when you have a wound after an injury, and let's say it's healing after a while, it leaves that part, that scar, and someone will ask you, "What happened to you?" "Oh, maybe I fell, maybe I this." The moment you start saying what happened, you have to go back to the incident and what led to that scar. And scars remind us of an incident that happened to us. It's like a memory that you're trying to close, but you can't because you have to relive it every time it's brought back. Whether it's a physical scar, emotional scar, mental scar, whatever it may be. And we live in a time whereby many people are so wounded to the extreme that when someone wants to voice out, they are silenced because whatever people can't control and don't understand, they will suppress. They will tell you, no, you're looking for clout. No this, no that, no this, no that. And so you become silent. And the strength of an abuser or the strength of a situation that has scarred you is in your silence. For example, let's say you are driving and you end up getting involved in an accident in a particular place. And maybe this place is a black spot that many people know about. But because no one speaks about it and it's not voiced more, no one gets to know about it. So you have more and more people becoming a victim to this black spot. Until one or two, three people start talking about it, then people start saying, oh, I'm also a victim, or I'm also a victim, or I'm also a victim, or I'm a victim. And then in the process, people start pushing for, hey, could we be able to have this area sorted out? Maybe it's a road that's been built and then it's not finished, and this is not finished is because either the contractor wasn't paid well or the contractor jumped to finish their assignment, whatever it may be. But now once you realize you are many victims of this area that this accident happened, you start pushing the powers that are in that area, the individuals, the systems that are in that area, until so many people hear about it and they're like, fine, let's just sort this mess once or else it will come back to bite us. But the only reason people were able to push it is because someone spoke and another one recalled and another one recalled and another one recalled. The strength of any abuser or any situation is in silence. The more quiet you are, the more the issues build up. If someone has gone through abuse or trafficking, whether adult or minor, they are the ones who know the scars that they've gone through. And so because of what they have to endure, the pain, the trauma, and all those things, the more silent they are, the next person doesn't know that the next one in play. And maybe you had because we've seen how it has happened, you say, it's not my place. I've gone through my story, I can't. And then you come and realize someone close to you fell into the same trap. And now you're thinking, maybe I could have said one thing. Yes, I'm up against a Goliath here. Maybe one thing I could have said that could have made a difference. Because the saddest thing about scars is the shame. Every time you open a wound, every time you have to go back and relive a trauma and relive and try to explain what happened, shame is normally right there saying, it's your fault. It's this, it's that. And worst case, if you meet people who thrive with their big ego, they will keep telling you, if you didn't do this, this didn't happen. And others do it out of just a big ego. Others do it because they really know what they are doing. And the idea is to keep you silent because they are beneficiaries of what's happening. Like the way in social media, someone could have a big scandal and the victims are there. but they employ other people to silence the other people. So eventually, the victims are re-victimized, and other people tell them, "Take me to where this incident happened." It's like some of the police stations, like in this country, for example, if you've gone through any type of abuse, whether male or female, the cops will tell you it's because you did ABCD. If you are a lady, it's because of how you dressed. If it's a man, you are not man enough. So you're thinking, and they have families, and until it happens to someone close to them or to them, then they realize, oh, so this is a common thing. See, the only way you know something is a common thing is until people speak about it. Until that time, no one knows anything. The only way I will know that there is a ditch in front, if someone says, "Hey, my friend, there's a ditch right there, and there's a reason as to why we put a wall around that bridge. Around that ditch." It is not easy to open up when you're going through whatever you're going through in life. Whatever pain, whatever trauma it is, it's not easy. Because you have to relieve the shame. And then you have to look from the inside and ask yourself, could it be something I did that brought me into this situation? Or was it just one of those situations that was beyond me? And so now the forgiveness has to start with you as a person to identify it has happened. And you have to start healing and loving yourself first before now you can be able to move into the next one. Because the problem with the scar and shame is the first wound starts from within. The first person to forgive and the first person to heal from is yourself before you deal with the situation. A child will always anticipate to be protected until the one to protect them or the guardian is an abuser. And it becomes even worse if there are people under authority. And now trying to explain that to someone, no one will understand. If you've been poisoned and you try to explain that ABCD happened to you and this is how you got poisoned, someone will say, no, it's because of ABCD, or you're looking for ABCD and that's why ABCD happened to you. And they're thinking, no, it's neither or. But because people in this, as society is becoming colder, they're like, maybe you shouldn't have gone, maybe you shouldn't have done this. And thinking, do you use your brain, or does your head just carry the brain and the brain is lost? And those are the sad realities. And the only way to break from that shell, because what happens when you go through any level of pain that has a scar, you build up a shell. These are not shells you build up even knowingly. Shells will come out of you're trying to voice out, but there's no one to listen. Or where you are about to voice out, others are victims like you and they have all told you just shut up. Or the people whom you are to voice out to, they're immature enough to handle this issue. They could be mature by age, but they're immature in emotional intelligence. Those are facts. And now you're stuck. You're like, now how do I proceed from here? Who will listen to me? But sometimes maybe you just need to say what's going on. Because at the end of the day, it has happened. And your voice could be the one thing that will help the next person. Many people became advocates of different human or child rights or whatever rights of issues. Nobody listened to them easily. But they just said, it's already happened. I might as well just say it and help the second person. Because the only beauty about information is relation. As you share, someone relates. And as they relate, they're like, what can we do about it? And before you know it, you have a community of people voicing one language to make a change in a situation. So speak out. Speak out. It's not easy. There's no roadmap or a plan on how you will open up. It's not written, it's not cast on stone. Why? Because that scar to be opened needs a trigger. And because it's been something shameful and you feel shame, because the first thing is when you go through whatever scar it is, shame stuck on you. It's like, it's literally on you. It's telling you, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And until someone says something, and it could be the most innocent thing, or an incident happened, and it could be the most innocent thing, and in that moment, you break. Because while you are going through this scar, you are like a balloon. And because there's no place to where you could be able to relieve what you're going through, this thing has been suppressed. So as it builds up, it builds up, it builds up, it builds up until an incident happens that is not even closely related, but has a part that's a bit related. You blow up. Whether you cry, whether you attack, whether you utter words, the fact is it will come out. And there is no proper strategy to healing per se, from what I seem to see. One thing I just see that's common is, just say it. Someone once told me, the more you talk, the more you heal. And I'm thinking, no one listens. But I came to learn, true, the more I talked, the more I heal. And some of these conversations you will have with Autostrade. And why do people then choose the social media sometimes as an avenue? Whether it's in a comment section, when they throw a clip, whichever way, it's because of the concept of the other person on the other end doesn't know me. So I can speak my mind and speak my thoughts and relieve this pain. And should this other individual want to use against me, I'll just, pretend it wasn't me and delete if it was a video or something, and delete it. Because you're thinking, nobody knows. And that's sometimes where we go, whether you choose to go through Reddit, whichever platform that you choose to use, whereby you can go incognito, whether it's Reddit, whether it's Discord, whether it's whatever platform it is. Because until you find a way to and release it, because it doesn't always have to be someone it could be whatever it may be, wherever it may be, whatever community it may be. Until you release it, it's going to eat you up. And the only way to make a progress is to make the first step. You see, a child does not know that they can walk until after they are crawling, they hold on to a support, something they can support on, and they stand. And they try to make the first step, and then they feel one leg not working, then poof, down, they crawl. But they keep seeing, but they still want to walk, so they go back again. They do it once, they do it twice, they do it thrice. They're like, I can stand. Now, I have to hold on if it's a table and try to move slowly and hold on to it with grip. And that's what they do. Next, they realize, now, what if I released myself? What's the worst that could happen? They don't think about their safety. And then they try it. They fall once, they fall twice, they cry. You pick them up, you're thinking they are done, they go back again. And they go back again until they realize they can walk. And the same it is with a scar and healing. You see, the shame is what is putting us or you in that shell, and it's telling you, you can't get out, you can't speak, no one will listen to you, nothing you do will work. But the more you talk, the shame looks for people who can support it. And so they say it's your fault, it's this, is this, is this. But the more you talk, the more it loses its power. The more you talk, the more it loses its strength. And then someone says, wait a minute, did you say ABCD? I'm like, wait, I know somebody, or wait, I went through that, or this person went through that, or wait a minute, or someone even makes a call. Do you remember ABCDEFG? Yeah, I remember. I think we need to meet. I might have found someone who's going through the same thing. And before you know it, you're so many people, you have a community base, and the healing journey starts. And it's different. To find your next person who can listen to you is hard in this world we're living in. So you just pray about it. But first, present it to God. Then God will be able to guide you to whom you can be able to go to. Sometimes someone will say, go to a religious or a faith leader. What if they've never gone through that? You're going to someone to talk about divorce, but they've never divorced. They literally had their partner chosen for them in their ministry. What do you think they'll tell you? They'll tell you the experiences of other people, but they don't have their journey. So go to a marriage counselor, a professional who is in that. Unless that pastor or that servant of God is in that field, go to the person who's in that field. And then you'll understand, because you'll go to a pastor or someone and they'll tell you divorce. The Bible says ABCD, but you're thinking you have physical wounds. Everybody knows you are scared. You have been burned something. And because they're stuck to one area, because they don't want to lose their congregants and everything. But go to a marriage counselor. If by God's grace they have the faith based in them, good for you. But go to someone who is in that profession, because they understand what happens in that profession. If you need something investigated, you have to go to someone who's in that field of investigation. If you want to deal with someone who understands how to deal with particular issue, you have to go to someone who's in that field, who's best suited within that field. It's not your place. There's someone else. So if you look at a caterpillar and then becoming a butterfly, first it's scrolling. But that breaking stage for it now to move and realize it can break from this and eventually becomes a butterfly. When it's a butterfly, it doesn't want to ever crawl again. It's moved into something. And look, it's beautiful. Whatever color the butterfly is. But when you saw it as a worm, you're like, nope, not getting close to that thing. But when it's a butterfly, you're like, children want to run and touch it. They'll follow it. Animals will run around. But with a worm, everybody runs. So maybe if I choose to look at it, being a scar is like being in that worm. Everybody's scared. They're like, what's this creep crawling? You didn't choose to be in that situation. And it's there, it's done, it's happened. What if you keep opening up and praying and asking God for his guidance and opening up, and then as you break from what confined you, you're out. Now you can fly. Now you can not only be a victim, but now you're not a victim. You are a survivor. And now you can be able to help other people. Thanks to social media, to the positive end, where different people are going through different weighty matters, and they can share it on their platforms, whether it's through the accessories, whether through a podcast, whatever it may be, or through documentaries. Because the only way you know about something is until someone speaks about it. The only way I know that there's a problem is until someone says there's an issue. Until then, everybody thinks everything is okay. So whatever scar that's in your life, don't let the shame be the shell which you cover. It doesn't matter how bad it is. May you be able to pray and find some place or somewhere that you can be able to voice out and be able to relieve it all. Because we only heal when we talk. Until that happens, the shell of shame is covered on us. And the more that shell of shame is on us, we don't have the strength to voice out. So as I'm learning, and as we grow, the scar doesn't go. The scar is a reminder. And the difference is the shame. What do we do with the shame that comes with the scar? That comes when the scar is there. It is for you to be able, by God's grace, for you to be able to look at this scar. When you look at a scar, don't blame yourself. When you voice out, shame will come, but don't listen to it. Keep talking, keep talking, keep healing. If you want to be able to have a bee, to have honey. If you want honey, you have to go where the bees are. But you have to put on protective gear. So as you are going through that beehive process, the bees will keep stinging on that protective gear until they give up and you have your honey and you've gone to process it. And that's the same thing with a scar. The scar will be there. The bees will be the shame that will be punching on you. But as you talk, as you talk, as you talk, as you heal, as you find other people have gone through the same, just like a worm, a caterpillar, you become the butterfly. And everybody, for some reason, wants to see that beautiful caterpillar. That beautiful butterfly. So the only way to heal is, yes, the scar is there, but the scar does not define you. The shame does not define you. Let it out. Speak it. You never know who's listening. The next person could be the person to help you heal or help you find other people on how you will heal. Never let the scar, never let the shame define who you are. Speak, speak, speak. We only heal when you speak. Don't worry about anything. Even the one who wants to have honey, they sting on that protective gear. But eventually they get their honey and they go. A cow does not bother about forgetting that type of bird, the white one, that keeps removing the ticks from it. It continues eating. When that thing is dealing with the ticks, it's eating. A dog won't worry about the ticks. If it's hungry, it continue hungry. The ticks are there. They are taking blood and all, but the animal is still doing its thing. So a scar is always going to be a reminder of things that have happened. The shame will always be brought to try and tell you you can't. So break from that shell of shame and keep speaking and talking. And eventually the shame will have no power over you. And what was once as something that has held you back becomes your testimony to someone else move to the next level. But the only way to get to the next level, you have to speak it. You have to let it out. Because remember, when you have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a glass of water and it spills, the value isn't the glass or the cup. It is what was inside it. So whatever is inside of you is very valuable. So let it out, because it's not the cup or the glass that has the value. It is what was inside it. You don't start saying, let me wipe out the glass or the cup for being spilled. You try to wipe out what was inside it. So whatever is inside of you is very unique. Don't let shame be the reason that the scar that you have, you cannot be able to break from that shell. Break from that shell, but you have to speak it out and let it out. And don't care what happens, just let it out. And then the process begins. May God guide us all, because we really don't know who's on the other side listening. And if on the other side is someone who has their ill intention, so what? Keep going, keep moving, keep healing until we reach to wherever we'll be able to reach. Remember, the caterpillar never knows it's going to be a butterfly. When you look at it, it looks a worm, you want to run. But the moment it breaks and becomes the butterfly, Everybody wants to look at that butterfly, every click on it. So you never know the butterfly inside of you, never know the beauty inside of you until it's seen. May God help us all as we heal from the many wounds and scars and break from the very shame and bees attacking us. And may we be able to heal and become who we were meant to be under His divine grace and mercy. God help us all.